Evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'll be talking about athlete compensation in the NBA. All right, when the NBA started, the average player salary was between $4,000 and $5,000. The league only had a salary cap of about 55,000, which is in 1946, and you compare that to today's amount. Players make $55,000 in their sleep. So back then, the NBA didn't have the same benefits as it does today, from enormous broadcasting deals or endorsements that today's athletes can enjoy. So for the 2015-2016 season, the average player salary is estimated to be around $4,300,000, which is so much more than what they were originally being paid in the NBA. Compared to the other major sport leagues in America, the average NBA player will make more than the average NHL player and NFL players, who are making $3 million and $2 million respectively, and about the same as the average MLB player. So the highest paid player this season will be Kobe Bryant, and the lowest paid player will be Pat Connaughton. So with Kobe, he's the first round pick, 5-time NBA champion, and the all-time leading scorer for the Lakers. So when you look at today's dollars, that's somewhat justified. Some people say that he's older or whatnot, but for what he's done for the organization, that's supposed to justify his compensation. Whereas you have a guy like Pat Connaughton, who just got drafted this past season, second round pick for the Portland Trail Blazers. He's also part-time plays minor league baseball for the Baltimore Orioles. So not nearly as much, as accomplished in the NBA as Kobe Bryant, which kind of justifies how much he'll be making. So where Kobe will be getting about $25 million this season, Pat will only be getting about $625,000, which is still a lot. So you see this chart. This has the top salaries, top 10 salaries for the players in the NBA. You see Kobe is number one at 25 million, and you see it kind of scales down when you get to the 10th player. So it's based on this chart, you can safely assume that the best players, or the ones that have the most value to their team, they are compensated roughly around the $20 million mark. So how does a team, or even a league, determine such value for a player? We look in the book, and it mentions MRP, or marginal revenue product, as the measure for determining a player's value. So basically a player will be paid relative to their perceived value on a team. So over the course of that player's career, their MRP will rise or fall in accordance with their overall performance, their experience, and of course, most importantly, their age. So most of these guys that you see on this list were considered to be in their primes of peak performance, or considered extremely valuable at a point to their team's success. So over the next couple slides, I'm going to just talk about some of the places where athletes get their money, how they get their money, and any restrictions for how much money that they receive. All right, so CBA and athlete salary and the effect of BRI. The collective bargaining agreement is what keeps teams from overpaying or underplaying their players, merely based on what they think is their value to the team. There's certain rules in place that govern the player's salary from the moment that they're drafted all the way through their careers and even nearing retirement. I remember reading about the over 36 rule, where there's specific amounts that you can pay a player and guarantee a contract if they're over 36, because they're closer to their retirement. Sorry about that. So the owners and the players, they negotiate within the CBA the amount of BRI that will go to the players. And remember that BRI is basketball-related income, and it includes money from team sponsorships, promotions, gate receipts, broadcast rights, parking, and any other NBA properties. All right. So this chart here, it shows the BRI, the forecast of the BRI for the next 9 seasons that are covered under the new CBA. And you see collectively players are guaranteed to receive at least 50% of the league revenue forecast and salaries and benefits, and then plus or minus another 60% the amount by which revenues exceed or fall short of the revenue forecast. So in other words, the amount of BRI is going to be estimated at the beginning of each season, for which the CBA covers. Players are automatically going to receive half of that, and depending on how much they actually receive over the course of the season, will be either added to or subtracted from what the difference in the BRI forecast is. So an example is for, you see, 2012, 2013, the BRI is, let's say, is $4.408 billion. The players are collectively guaranteed, half of that, which is 2.2145 billion, and that will be coming from the 2.154 billion, which is 50% of the forecast that you see, plus the 60.5 million, which is the amount that the BRI forecast is exceeded by the amount that they actually won, that they actually earned over the course of the season. All right, so the escrow system, and there's the method that ensures players do not exceed their guaranteed share of BRI by withholding 10% of their salaries from their paychecks and depositing them in an escrow account. If it's found that players receive more money in salaries and benefits over the course of the season before receiving their escrow payment, the difference is returned to the owners, and the remaining money will still go to the players as guaranteed. So here's an example. As you see here, this is example A. Salaries and benefits are less. All right, so salary and benefits are less than the designated share. So the escrow money isn't needed. The players get to keep all of it. All right, the players get to keep all of that money, in addition to receiving a supplemental payment to meet their guaranteed share. Now, in example B, you see that the players' salaries and benefits actually exceed the designated share. So the amount that they're over, that will be going to the owners. All right. So you see, average amount retained by the NBA, and the players will keep the original amount, which is what they're supposed to be getting anyway. All right, so now the rookie scale is another way that athletes' salaries are determined, and it starts from when they first enter the NBA, from the moment that they're drafted. So this is the rookie salary scale for this past year's draft. So you see the first round pick, they will be getting the most money, and as you go down the line, the lower your draft number, the less money that you'll actually earn over the course of your rookie contract. Now, when they get to their third year, which is a team option, the amount that they receive is supposed to go up a certain percentage points in the third year if the team decides to get the option. And then here on the fourth option, this is the percentage that must go up from the third year team salary. All right. And then this is the qualifying offer that they can be, again, offered once they become a restricted free agent. This is the percentage by how much their salary must increase for an appropriate qualifying offer. All right, so the final part that I'm going to talk about will be salary restrictions, and that's basically just the minimums and the maximums that athletes in the NBA are going to be able to receive. So these figures that you see here, they're based on the numbers of years that a player is in the NBA, so years in the NBA. So the first chart shows what is considered to be the maximum salary that a player can earn. So whenever we hear somebody getting like a max contract deal with a team, usually their annual figures will be around what you see here. So you see 25% of the cap squared right here. And there are exceptions, however, to this maximum salary, and one of them is the fifth year 30% max criteria, which states that a player who has played all 4 years of his rookie contract and named to the All-NBA first, second, or third team at least twice, they're able to actually get more than what you see here listed. So, an example of that is like Anthony Davis. He's a young player. He definitely hasn't played. He's in the 0 to 6 years in the NBA. So he should be getting for this upcoming season roughly about 16 million. But because of him meeting this criteria, this 5th-year max, and how valuable he's been to the team and all his accomplishments, he's actually going to be earning about 29 million a year. So that's definitely way more than what you see here for a player that's only been in the league 0 to 6 years. So the second chart that you see here shows the minimum annual salary a player can earn over the course of a season. So we most likely will see this when they say a player has signed to the veteran minimum. So an example would be David West, who he just signed with the Spurs for around $1.4 million, excuse me. And you see, David West has been in the league for 10 plus years. So if you go to this season, 15-16, that's roughly around the same amount. So here's about 1.5 mil. He's getting about 1.4. Okay. So any questions that you guys may have about some of the ways athletes are compensated in the NBA, feel free to ask. And these here are my references. Thank you.